Hi ladies, I'm Andrea Schell, and this is What Would Men Say? Today, I've got 3 great men for you who are going to talk openly and honestly about women's bodies. Let's go meet them.
Hi, I'm Gerimi. I'm single, a graphic designer, writer, and illustrator.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm married. My wife and I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I'm a professional writer.
Hey, my name's Ernie G. I am single, and I am a professional stand-up comedian.
Today, we're going to talk about women's bodies. Okay? And what I'm going to talk about is the fact that women are, myself included, we're crazy about our bodies, and we're really crazy about what you think about our bodies. And so I just want to know, what do you think about our bodies?
What don't I know a lot about. I'm pretty much an expert on this subject.
Okay.
So I'm sure we all are.
Confidence is sexy. I have been with some total, beautiful, rock-hard, perfect 10 models that obsess about a little pinch or a little birthmark that they have. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're gorgeous and you're worried about a birthmark on your ankle? And I've been with voluptuous, what people would consider chubby, out of shape, with little cottage cheese on their thighs. But they walk into the room and they're like, look, I look good and I like me. And that makes me like you even more.
You had talked about like the perfect girl, the model, and there's all that thing of like the perfect 10, and there's like the phrase like men only want a perfect 10. So just, what do you think about that?
There is no perfect 10. Perfect 10 is a myth. It's a fantasy. It doesn't exist. I want someone that looks real and attractive. Like they look like a real normal human being. The closer you get to that idealized perfect 10, the less they seem actually like. You look at some models who are so airbrushed, they don't even look human anymore. Yeah. It's like they look like a porcelain doll. A lot of the things I find sexy might not necessarily be a perfect 10. I mean, I like some women that are slim and skinny. Some women I like that got a big old booty. It's like it just depends on how she carries herself.
Going back to one thing he had said, the idea that if a woman is really conscious about her body, she's very self-aware. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of now, is your body and how uncomfortable you are, and it just becomes this issue because she's uncomfortable with it, and it just becomes like the main focus. Whereas someone who's comfortable in their own skin and who's just not worried about it, like you said, there can be a whole range of body types. And if you're just like, this is me, I take care of myself, this is what I have to work with, and I just am totally excited about it and I embrace it, then I want to feel the same way. I think on a first date especially, the way that the woman thinks of herself sort of instructs the guy on how to think of her too. She's telling you what opinion you should have of her.
That's awesome.
And it's ridiculous, and it's just doomed to fail if she shows up hoping that you think and have a different opinion of her than she has of herself. Ooh. So that's just never going to work.
I love it.
Oh,
so
my
if you show
God.
up and you're like,
oh my God.
you're just comfortable in your own skin, I think the guy will feel great about how you look too.
That's actually a really important fact. Is honestly, the more I like a woman as a person, as a human being, the less the physical, becomes important. Because to be honest, for most guys, it's not hard to turn our heads. It really is.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, that is what I want to know. Because, like, women, we feel like we've got to be perfect. We have to work out. We have to wear the most perfect thing. Otherwise, men are not looking at us at all. Like, we're invisible if we're not like, hey, like, look, like.
But the counterbalance, though, is that it's easy to get a guy interested.
Okay.
It's hard to make a guy actually want to be around a woman, because I mean, for most part, we like hanging out with our buddies. Most of the time, when we're spending, if we can pick what we want to spend our time doing, it's hanging out with each other. It's kind of what it's just a tribal pack mentality. But it takes a certain level of laid backness and also being able to engage on certain commonalities in a woman's personality to make a guy say, yeah, I actually want to spend time with her. So beyond the physical always fades, whether through time or just exposure. Even if someone still looks the same, if you're around long enough for a while, you don't care so much. You're used to it. Getting a guy interested is easy. Keeping a guy engaged emotionally and intellectually is challenging.
I think women would be surprised to learn how many physical features are negotiable. Like how many different factors are any guy is willing to like totally whatever, because I think she's hot. The collective impact of her features is awesome. I feel good about myself when I'm around her. I want to do the same for her and help her feel good about herself when she's around me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point. We don't expect you to be perfect.
That was part 1 of our episode about women's bodies. Tune in again to find out what else Gerimi, Jason, and Ernie had to say in part 2. We'll see you then.
When my wife and I had just had our daughter, well, she had the baby, but I remember standing in the room, my wife had just been wheeled out, the baby had been taken out, and I just kind of stood there in the room, like, just totally overwhelmed. And this female nurse came into the room to get something, and I just turned to her and I was like, women are magical. And she just looked at me very matter-of-factly and said, yes, they are, and walked out. So I just watched my wife give birth, so, like, I think women are magical.